listening to Fountain of Thought with your hosts, Dennis Fountain and Sunny Rain. One small step for man, one giant leap for America.
This show contains adult themes and language. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, everyone, to the Fountain of Thought podcast, broadcasting from the Erickson Memorial Studios. This is the podcast where we talk about Star Trek and nothing but Star Trek. Leave us a voicemail on our listener line at 413-612-8037. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at TalkFOT, or visit our website at fountainoftthought.com. Welcome all, and yes, you are listening to the correct podcast. Sonny, how are you today?
Wow. Because this is a audio show and not visual, you did not have to witness what I just witnessed. Have you ever saw a fat man dance to a geeky song? Don't even try to imagine it. Don't even try to put it together in your mind.
It's
just there's tits
it's
flying.
Beyond.
And, nipples poking out. I mean, just very disturbing. Very, very. Matter of fact,
you'll be thinking about that tonight as you lie in bed.
I don't want to think about it. I want to move on to football.
Football.
To get my manly feelings going.
Manly feelings going. Okay.
Yeah.
We do have a few exceptions for this episode. There are some minor exceptions.
And those exceptions will be?
Well, one of them is the football picks. That's not really a Star Trek thing, but
that's something we have to do weekly. But
yes.
Other than that, everything is going to be about Star Trek. Anything and everything.
Anything and everything about Star Trek, yes.
So, let's get started. And your host, Mr. Joe Buck. Take it away.
I had to watch Cowboys and Giants. Is that who played last week? Cowboys and Giants, right?
Yes.
And I had to listen to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. It was like, just hit mute, put on the subtitles. Oh, it was awful.
Put the radio on.
It was torture. I can't stand either one of those, but Joe Buck, is horrible, horrible. All right, so let's go into this week.
Well, last night I took the Bengals and went down the toilet.
I took the Bengals as well.
And both went where? Down the toilet. Okay, but moving on to Sunday, we got the Browns and the Baltimore Ravens.
I took the Ravens.
I as well took the Ravens. We also have the Minnesota Vikings visiting the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I took the Steelers.
I took the Steelers as well. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to fly into Arrowhead Stadium and take on the Kansas City Chiefs.
And get shot by an arrow, so I picked the Chiefs.
I picked the Chiefs as well. The Arizona Cardinals are going to fly into the Dome Stadium of the Colts and get themselves killed, so I took the Colts.
See, I think they're going to stay above of the horses and not get stampeded, so I picked Cardinals.
Okay, well, we got the Bears, who are going to Botany Bay to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And I think the Buccaneers are going to beat the Bears.
I believe so as well. I took the Buccaneers as well. The New England Patriots are heading out to New Orleans. It's the Battle of the News. New England versus New Orleans.
I think the Patriots will take the Saints.
Yeah, I think they will as well. Well, barring any more injuries.
So. Yes, we hope so.
The Texans are going to go see if they can tame the Jaguars out in Jacksonville.
And I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be all wet from all of that hurricane, and so I picked the Titans.
I went with the Jaguars. I think they got something to prove being all wet. Because, cats don't like to get wet.
That's true. They don't. You're right.
At least most of them don't.
Yes.
Okay, and then we got the Buffalo Bills heading into Carolina to take on the other cats, the Panthers.
I think the Panthers will be faster than those Bills.
I took the Panthers as well. Then we've got the New York Jets flying into Oakland Coliseum, and as usual, it doesn't matter who the Jets play. I take the opposite.
I don't like either of these teams. These are my two least favorite teams, but I picked the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm the Raiders.
Jets looked horrible. I watched that game. They were horrible.
Jets haven't looked good since Joe Namath.
Oh, they were so bad. So bad.
Okay, we got the Miami Dolphins swimming through the canal all the way out to the Pacific Ocean to take on the new Los Angeles Chargers.
I think the Chargers are going to electrify the stadium and fry the fish.
I think as well. And I'm sorry, a dolphin is not a fish. It's
a mammal. Yes, I know.
Get your shit together.
But it goes for the rhyme, squish the fish. We got to keep it. Come on. Squish the fish.
Yeah. Some idiot did that in the 80s.
I know, but so what? It's catchy. I like it.
Plus, squish the mammals. Squish the
No,
mammals.
it doesn't go the same. Plus,
if they had rap music, they would have figured it out.
Plus, Miami is my brother's team, and I got to root against him.
That's right, Rod. The Dolphins are going to drown in the pool. San Francisco 49ers. They are a deshuffled team, and they are heading up to play Seattle in Seattle. I took Seattle.
I took Seattle as well. The 49ers have no more gold to dig through, so...
The Washington Redskins are going to try to go in and scalp some Rams. What do you think?
I think the Rams are going to use their horns, and they're going to take out those feathers.
I think the Rams are going to be very horny, and they're going to take the game as well. Then we got the Dallas Cowboys, yippee, going into Colorado to try to wrangle up some horses. over in Denver. What do you think?
I did watch the game last week, and I thought the Cowboys really did look good. They looked really good, so I'm picking the Cowboys. I think they will ride those horses.
I'm taking the Cowboys as well. I think they're going to Bronco bust them.
Yeah.
Bronco bust them.
I get it, yeah.
That's pretty good. Okay, we got the...
Save a horse, ride a cowboy.
We got the Green Bay Cheese Packers heading over to see the Falcons.
Got to go with my Green Bay because they looked really, really good. I loved Aaron Rodgers. And have you seen his new commercial? I absolutely love it.
Oh, I haven't seen it, but I do like Aaron Rodgers, and I also took the Packers.
Aaron Rodgers, his new commercial is for, I believe it's for insurance, Geico or one of those.
It's not Geico. He is an insurance company.
Yeah, it's insurance, right? Yeah. The guys...
it's the double check.
Oh, State? No, Allstate.
Yeah.
Allstate. But it has the Greatest American Hero theme song in it. I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll go with Green Bay on that one as well. Okay, and then the last game on Monday night, we got the Lions going into time to tame the New York Giants.
Now, who'd you pick for this one?
Oh, who do you think?
You picked Detroit?
I would pick the janitors out of...
See, I'm going to pick for who I think's going to win. I think the Giants are going to win.
I can't pick a New York team.
I know, but I'm just telling you that that's who I picked.
Okay, so that's our picks for
this week. So those are our picks for this week. Those of you out there keeping track, if you win anything off of our picks, please remember us.
Exactly.
Moving on. All right. So the opening dialogue is going to be all about Star Trek. We have a new show coming out, Star Trek Discovery. And we are going to have a new show. It's called Dissecting Discovery. That will be completely separate from this podcast. We will have a new podcast, and we will broadcast one of these every week, and it's going to be about the episode that you just saw. So there are only 13 episodes in the arc, and there's 8, and then it takes a break, so we won't have any in between. We will just do episodes that have to do with each one. We'll review it and tell you what we liked, what we didn't like, and where we think the show's going, and things of that nature. Talk about the guest stars, talk about the actors, things like that.
And as usual, you can call us in on any of our contacts and argue with us and insult us.
Everything will stay the same. Yeah,
all that kind of good stuff. It'll be fun.
But in lieu of the new show, the new podcast, Dissecting Discovery, that's coming out, I have a treat for the listeners, which they probably have not heard, at least in its entirety. I got my grubby little hands on the Discovery theme.
No way.
I did. And if you hearken back to the days of Enterprise, when people were screaming and yelling and hollering because there were words in it, apparently somebody listened and they've gone back to a more traditional opening. So here's a little treat for you. It pays homage to the very original Star Trek and also the current Star Trek that's in the movies. I think it's pretty good. Here it is. What'd you think?
I like it.
Yeah, I thought it was very good.
I like it a lot.
I do like it a lot. I think that's going to be a good show. I really do.
The only fear I have about this show, and I won't know until we watch the first episode, is that they don't hit that wall of resistance that the last Stargate show did by going from
so different. You mean
to going very deep than what's usually expected.
Right.
Because remember how the fans just totally
when
reacted
Stargate
to it?
Universe came out, it was a completely different.
Yeah, and I embraced it. I liked it. I thought it was something different, and it was enjoyable. But for the most part, it just plummeted ratings on Star Trek. Being that this is not trying to follow up on anything, they're trying something brand new, and it is going to be on All Access. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it's going to be.
It's been a while since, although we don't think about it, since Enterprise has been on. It's been quite a few years, 10 plus years.
Yeah.
So I think it's time for a new Star Trek series, and I have no issues with almost everything that they're doing so far that I'm aware of.
And fans really go at it with an open mind, because there's no guarantee we're going to see any more Star Trek movies right now, especially with the death of Anton Yelchin. It's going to be surprising if they do go forward with that.
I think they will. I think there's going to be one more. I think they'll at least do one more, because I know they're working on a script. So I believe there's going to be at least one more. And since you brought off Chekhov for a second, I just want to say happy birthday to Walter Koenig. It is his birthday today. He is 81 years old, and he's had a rough couple of years. He's had some health issues. His son committed suicide in 2010. Did you follow that at all? His son was Boner from Growing Pains. Remember that TV show from the 80s?
Yes.
Yeah. He committed suicide. So Walter Koenig's had some tough times. So, but happy birthday, Walter. Hope you have a great birthday. So I think they'll be making more Star Trek movies in the Kelvin timeline. I think that'll be happening. I also think that there is rumor that Nicholas Myers is working on another TV series. That series is going to be evolved around the Khan.
I'm sorry, this is another spin-off series?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Evolving Khan.
Okay, what I don't want to see happen here is them doing what they did before and making the same mistake. When Next Generation came out, it was doing fantastic, and they wanted to cash cow in. So right away, right after, I think it was the third season, especially after Best of Both Worlds, they decided to go ahead with Deep Space Nine, and that overlapped with it. And then as generations,
you think it diluted the franchise?
Very much so.
I don't know if it diluted the franchise so much. I was not a fan of DS9. I did watch it, obviously, but that was my least favorite series of them all.
But the point is that when you give choices, okay? If you just say, here's Next Generation, you either take that or leave it. That's your Star Trek choice. But when you've got three happening at once,
look at your favorite show. They're Law and Order. There's Law and Order everything. And now, did you see they're coming out with Law and Order the Menendez brothers?
Yes, I understand that.
I think if the series is good, the series is good.
Well, as the show goes on, we're gonna end up in a fist fight anyway.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Let's just move on.
Okay, so anyways, so Nicholas Myers is allegedly working on that.
Is he going to work his brother Michael Myers into one of the episodes?
I don't know. He may.
For a Halloween episode?
Well, he's got that Star Trek tie-in.
Yeah, that's good.
William Shatner. Get it? The William Shatner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Star Trek.
Yeah. See? For those of you that don't know, we're not going to tell you. Google it. So back to Discovery. I don't want this to be a huge thing just solely on Discovery, because we want to talk about other Star Trek stuff as well. But Discovery has... I like a lot of the things they've done with Discovery. One of the things that I really like is, if you've seen any of the promo shots, when they're transporting, beaming, it's literally digitized, and that's the first time that's been happened. It's always been this circle of light or these glowing orbs or whatever, but it's actually breaks it down to digital fragments. I think that's really cool looking, and if you don't really pay attention, you might miss that, but it's just one of those little things that I like. They've changed the Klingons again, which a lot of people are upset at, but let's go back. All right, go way back to Next Generation. I was one, when it first came out, it said, I'm going to hate this show. I don't want to watch this. And when it first came on and I saw the captain, I went, who the freak is this old bald fart running the Enterprise? What the hell is this? I hated it to begin with. I didn't like the way everything went. It just didn't feel right to me.
The uniforms,
they were all in their pajamas. Yeah.
The universal pajamas.
Yeah.
Zippered all the way up like onesies.
Yeah. It was so bizarre. And Counselor Troy, what she was just hanging out on the bridge and really didn't have like a
wearing his hairdo that she looked like Queen Amidala.
I feel this. It was just I did not like the first season, and tons of Star Trek people didn't like it. They fought it, and then look what happened. That went on to be a huge success and have all of those movies. It was a very good show. So, that being said...
Yeah, but it came very close to being canceled.
Well,
it
did, but that wasn't because of viewership. That was because of internally what was going on.
Yeah, but Gene Roddenberry pushed to keep it going.
Yes and no.
He did. He had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, he pushed to keep it going, but he also and Rick Berman fought a lot about the direction that Star Trek wanted to go. Roddenberry had this utopia thing where that we weren't going to get into wars, that everyone was going to get along, and it was going to be one happy enterprise. And Berman said, no, you need some turmoil inside. You have to have something going on, or else that's what makes good television. So they battled back and forth about the direction of Star Trek, and eventually Gene passed and Berman took over. And I did not like a lot of the things that Berman did, especially in some of the movies. I thought that he just didn't do a very good job. But my thought is on this is just, try to keep an open mind, because everyone that came out, nobody really liked it. When the first seasons, nobody really liked. And afterwards, with the exception of maybe Enterprise, they all ended up liking them. And I think Enterprise got a bad rap. I think it lost viewership way on because Archer was such a wimp. I mean, he was this big everything. He was kind of like what Gene Roddenberry wanted. He was just so mellow and until he, same thing like DS9, Cisco. When Cisco had hair, the show sucked. As soon as
Cisco turned into Hawk from
yeah.
What the hell was the name of that show?
God, I forgot that show. But yeah.
All of a sudden, he shaved his head.
Yeah,
he got
grew some balls. Yeah, and the show got a lot better.
The first first two seasons?
Yeah.
All he did was had that Obama smile on his face, and I was so agreeing.
Yeah. I agree. And Enterprise,
but at least, despite that, at least he was a fan of baseball.
Yeah, instead of Archer.
Who the hell is a fan of water polo? And getting back to what a wimpy
but he
was,
had a dog.
Yeah. That's another one, a little lap dog. And then, and I'm not implying anything by that other than just very, I don't know, just sissy, just not command, command style.
Yeah, it didn't.
He
didn't command a presence. That was the whole problem.
If Worf was standing behind him saying, Captain, Klingons
on the starboard bow.
Well, what do you think we should do, Mr. Worf? Yeah, I mean, that's the way he came off,
and it was, and
until they got to that Xindi.
The Xindi, yeah. When the Xindi came along, then, again, the show changed.
That was his balls growing.
Yeah, and that last season was a really good season until the very last episode, which ruined almost all of Star Trek for me.
Yeah, well, spoiler alert, if you've never seen it,
yeah,
watch it until you get to the last episode. And don't watch the last episode.
I think everyone's probably seen it, but. So there's every series has some growing pains, and there's certain things that people will like or not like. Give Discovery a chance. They talk about what timeline it is and how come it's so advanced. And here's my theory on this. Say if I was going to do a what show would I read? All right, I'm going to redo, and they did this. Knight Rider. Okay, so we're going to do a redo Knight Rider. Are we going to take the same car? Are we going to use, a car from the 80s and make that kit all over again? Or are we going to make a brand new car? Are we going to take a new, they didn't have the Camaros then. They had the Mustangs,
again, that's another point, and it should be on another show because it's not Star Trek related. But we disagree with that because I think you can take a show, leave all the elements to it, but just rewrite it properly. It was just like Lost in Space, changing the Jupiter 2. If I thought just leave it alone.
Well, that they could have left alone.
Yeah, well,
I agree with that one.
I can see them all of a sudden coming out and saying, you know what? After all these years, we need Kit. Taking them out and
them out of mothballs
and giving them a whole new revamp and making a car out of it. Not having, but again, it's because you got all these car companies that want to be able to promote. But they could have taken Kit out and gave them all these different attachments and different things and still use the same car. I'm not saying you're right right on that. It depends. It depends on the writing. It depends on the thing. The thing with Enterprise is you have to go with today's special effects. You just can't take Kirk's day.
But that's why everyone's bitching about Discovery.
Except, of course, that the one exception to the rule is that internet, the independent internet Star Trek.
Yeah, that they redid from the 60s.
Very well.
Yeah.
And it's very well accepted, and it looks exactly like the original. And there's a lot of people, older people especially, that just love it. They're eating it up like candy.
But I don't think you can go that route. I think you have to use modern technology. You have to modernize it.
Because you're a god, you're the only opinion.
No, I'm just I'm giving. Hey, this is an opinion show. I'm just giving it to you. You know, that's
right.
If
you want my opinion, you'll give it to me.
That's right, exactly. And I think you have to modernize it. As far as changing the Klingons, I don't know what the story behind that is. Why they actually did that again. Because you had them redesigned for the movies, and maybe they want to keep them separate. I don't know, because you have to remember that the production of the TV series is completely different than the production from the movies. And what I mean by that is Paramount has control over movies, and CBS Viacom has control over the television series. They don't share anything. They don't share profits. They don't share anything.
Well, the only mythological thing that's the correct word to use, that I would say, is to compare it to Earth, okay? None of us are the same. We have Chinese, we have African American, we have whites, we have Indian, we have all these different types of breeds. You could look at the Klingon world and say the same thing.
That's possible.
It's
you're
certain
right.
parts of the different Klingons.
I don't know what they're doing with it. Yeah,
you know, you could have these Klingons came from this province. These Klingons are from this province. You know, these are darker. These are lighter.
That's a very good analogy. I never thought of that.
That's the only way you could write it off.
Yeah.
and get away from all that bureaucracy between networks. And
stuff. That's
and just accept it. It's just
that is a brilliant aspect.
Thank you very much.
That is very good thought. You put a lot of thought in that. I agree with that.
I'm going to give myself this.
So it's also taking a different approach where it's going by the first officer, not by the captain. So the captain will be in it, but it's primary from the perspective of the first officer. And it's an arch where the episodes 1 through 13 all tie into each other.
Let me just interject something. Speaking of first officer and arch, why did Commander William Riker always walk arch to one side?
Because his jumpsuit was too tight.
But you ever notice that? Every time he walked, he always had to tilt.
A little swagger. Yeah, he had a swagger.
He had to walk to that little left side little thing going.
Yeah, I don't know why. To finish up my discovery for this episode is that everyone's bitching they don't want to spend $4.95 a month to watch it on CBS All Access. And to that I say you're not a true fan. Because seriously, I know you don't want to cough up the $5 a month, but how many people out there cough up? I think the cheapest you can get it is $12 a month, but it's usually more like $15 or $16 to watch Game of Thrones on HBO, or to watch I forget that the show. There's a show on Showtime that they do the same thing too.
Or go to the movies to pay for a Star Trek motion picture that just came out. You'll spend how much between popcorn and everything else?
Yeah, but my problem is I'm not paying for that. That's ridiculous. Listen, this is the future. Everyone knows this. They see that this is the future. It's going to be streaming. So that's the future, number one. Number two is I remember when Stargate came out. It was on Showtime, and I had to pay. And that was what got me to subscribe to Showtime. And that's the only reason I subscribed to Showtime, is so I could watch Stargate, because that's where it was. And I loved the show. So I don't have a problem with paying, $4.95 a month to watch my Star Trek, because it's just not Star Trek. You get all other things in there. It's CBS. It streams every CBS show. It streams all of the Star Trek library. Every Star Trek thing that's out there is on there. So you don't need Netflix if you want to watch Star Trek. You can go to CBS All Access. So I don't have a problem with it. They're launching this. It was supposed to be their first streaming production show, but The Good Wife beat it, unfortunately, because Star Trek had their delay problems. But you know what? Spend the money. Come on. $5 a month to watch Star Trek? To me, that's worth it. I don't have a problem. Do you?
Not at all.
Okay. All right.
Especially when you're paying for it.
I know. All right. So what is your favorite Star Trek series?
My favorite Star Trek series? Well, the original, of course.
You like the original? Yeah. That's your favorite? I have a special place for the original because it was the original and I first saw it. And it's such the series is so different. It's kind of hard to compare them, but I have to tell you, I really like Voyager. Voyager is my favorite series.
How about this? How about we rank them?
I'll go with Star Trek TOS, the original Star Trek, because it started everything. I'll go with the original. I'll go with Voyager, Next Generation, Enterprise, DS9, the animated series.
I am going to go with the original, Star Trek The Next Generation, Enterprise,
over Voyager?
DS9, and then Voyager.
What?
Yeah.
Why? How were you putting Voyager dead last?
Because, all right.
Over DS9?
Well, can we just call DS9 and Voyager the same in my book?
No.
I didn't like either one of them.
You didn't like either one of them?
Well, I mean, it was okay, but the problem is, again, the first 2 years of Deep Space Nine was Cisco smiling like Obama, going, yeah, okay, everything's supposed to get... Because it was supposed to live up to a certain thing. DS9 was supposed to be this beat-up old Kardashian space station. It was all wreckage, just like they started in the very first show. Beams lying all over the place, and it was supposed to be a group of people going way out to this outpost to rebuild it, and slowly, time by time... All of a sudden, within 2 episodes, the place is functioning perfectly well, and now it's just a working show. Same thing with Voyager.
Wait, back up. Remember what you're going to say about Voyager, but back up to DS9. It's still a Starfleet facility. I know that they're quote, using, Bajoran space and everything, but it's run. No, it's Bajoran, but it's run by Starfleet.
But it was still beat up from a war, and they were supposed to take time to rebuild it and do things.
Well, how long do you expect them to do this?
Okay, and then on top of that, we had to spend all this time with this mystical...
Yeah, that was garbage. That was garbage.
Inside of a wormhole crap. Yeah, wasn't until they finally got the Defiant, and then they finally started getting into the war with the Kardashians. Not the Kardashians. The Kardashians.
Well, they were in a war with it.
They would have lost the war with these Kardashians. But the Kardashians, but it wasn't until those ones with the drug habit that came out of the
Jem'Hadar.
Yeah, the Jem'Hadar and stuff.
Yeah.
It started getting interesting, and they had their moments with certain episodes, and it was okay. But
they had some of my favorite episodes too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it just it was a hit or miss. Sometimes you turn it on.
I agree.
And go,
I agree.
This sucks, and I just didn't care.
Yeah.
Well, Voyager got me all pumped up because it was going to be the closest thing to Lost in Space.
Yeah.
It was supposed to get blown all the way out of course, and they had to fight their way back to Earth.
Right.
And it was supposed to be, as they went along, they were going to have to adapt different technology to keep. And they started doing that.
Yeah.
You started seeing Borg parts glowing and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden, boom, it stopped, and the ship was always perfect. And it was supposed to land. They only land the ship, I think, once or twice.
Twice, yeah.
And they were supposed to be able to do all these things, and they made such a big thing about the engine was going to be a different type of engine. It was plasma or something.
The conduits were made out of a bio...
whatever.
Yeah.
And then they got ridiculous with the Doctor. The Doctor's supposed to be a hologram program, and the next thing you know, he's got this little device. And
mobile emitter.
Yeah, and he can walk around.
I loved it.
Oh, Christ. It just
I loved it.
It was
and that series took off when 7 of 9 came on.
And there was no chemistry with the characters.
Oh, I completely disagree with you.
First of all,
Janeway in 7 of 9... had a great chemistry. That was a wonderful relationship they had in the show.
How many years did you have to wait until she came?
Well, because she didn't come out for it was 3 years.
Well, 3 years is a long time to make me suffer through.
Oh well, all right. Well, then let's take Garrett Wong. What's his name?
Kim.
Yeah, Kim and
yeah, those two are okay.
Them. Oh, come on.
But you had Neelix, who was a pain in my ass.
Yeah, Neelix was.
And then his wife there.
Yeah, well, she left.
She was another one who was useless.
She just looked funny. That wig didn't fit right.
Her ears looked stupid, and she was just one of those characters. Like, just drop her off somewhere.
Oh, that was
and be done with it. And the thing is, it's just not a believable situation. You're going to take a whole group of people like these resistant leaders, and you're going to put them aboard, and they're immediately going to accept the fact that Chakotay is going to say, "Okay, I'll take second
But they
command."
didn't.
Yeah,
They fought her
at first for a couple of next
for the whole season, and then they went back and revisited. See, you're not a fan. You're just looking at the bad things of it.
I just didn't like it. It had its episodes. It had a few things.
I think you should go back and rewatch it
They
again.
screwed the Borg up in it. I don't like what they did with that. Then they brought in this other idiotic species to make the Borg even look like wimps.
Species OU812 or whatever they were.
I'm sorry. When you look back at Star Trek, when it was the original series, it was all based on the chemistry of three people.
I know that, but
that's what
let's
made
look at the storylines of Star. Now you want to compare storylines?
Yeah.
Come on. Oh my God.
Well, there was a lot of lousy episodes,
Yes.
but there was still good chemistry and fun in it.
Well, yeah, the three of them had a good chemistry, and you will never find that except possibly in Stargate. They had an awesome chemistry in Stargate, and they worked very well together. But that's something that's very hard to write and to get to happen. But I disagree with you, Voyager. I think that's probably the best of all of them, although they all have certain episodes of each one that are very, very good. But if you look at the people that watch them, the number one series is Star Trek Voyager. And the number one episode that is watched more than any episode is Endgame's Part 1 and 2.
I knew that lists were coming sometime.
Yep, that's right. And
there we go.
That's the end of it.
We need one of those little things that go, now it's time for
lists.
Dennis Fountain's Lists.
Exactly. So number 2 and 3 are the best of both worlds. That's the second
Best
most
in
watched.
Both Worlds was one of the best episodes.
Should have been a movie. I mean, that was so good it should have been a movie.
It was released in the movie theater.
I know. I saw it. Yeah. But we played it in my theater. But
that was very, very, very good.
Yeah, it was very good. And then you go back to Voyager again. It's Voyager is 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, back to Next Generation for Q-Who, then Voyager, and then the last top 10 is Next Generation. There's no DS9 for most watched episodes from the top 10. There's no Enterprise. It's all Voyager with the exception of 2 for Next Gen. So that tells you what the audience likes. They like Voyager.
During Enterprise, one of their best ones was when they go back to World War II, but they screwed up the ending on that.
See, because
they turned it into a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
and when it got back, they blew it.
Yeah. No, the best. Okay, let's.
I said one of the best.
Let's pick our best episodes from each series. All right, how we do that? Enterprise. My best is In a Mirror Darkly, and that's where they went back to the alternate universe and got the NCC 1701 Enterprise. Well, it actually wasn't the Enterprise, but it looked just like it's one of their sister ships. That was the best episode of that entire series.
You're talking about the remake of Mirror Mirror, where they go back when the universe where everybody's horrible.
Yes. Yeah, and they changed the opening. The opening was completely different. They changed everything about it. I loved it.
Okay, what was the one? Because I'm terrible with names of the episode. What was the one when they go back and they find the Constitution class starship and they're trying to tow it out?
That's it.
That's
the one. Yeah.
Okay, that is.
Yeah.
Let me think about it. I think
the Tholian web and everything. That's yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite in that episode.
Yeah, that's my favorite of that whole series. Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
There were a couple of others. I have to table that because I have to think about it because I haven't seen that show in eons. But
yeah.
I know that does ring a bell.
Yeah, that was a good episode. And where do you get that from? The original Star Trek. So that's probably why it was one of my favorites because it ties into it. So that's my favorite of that one. Let's do Voyager. You probably don't have a favorite episode, do you?
Not off the top of my head, no.
The name is escaping me right now, but it's the one where 7 of 9 and Captain Janeway go travel through time to capture someone, and they end up going forward in time and then back in time. I like that episode a lot. That was my favorite episode probably of Next Gen. I mean of Voyager with Praxis, not Praxis. They guard the time travelers. They were they policed the time travelers.
Is that with Max Headroom?
No, Max Headroom. Oh no. The episode was Parallax, and that's the ship that they were on, and they were time traveling back and forth. You remember that episode?
The one that does stick out for Voyager for me would be the one when they go back to World War II.
They didn't go. You mean when the Herosian came on board and they took over the holodecks and turned it into World War II, France and everything?
Yeah.
That was. Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, they were
one.
hunting and they turned it over. That was interesting.
And again, because it's been years since I watched these, it's probably as if I rewatched all of them, I would remember certain ones that stand out. But there's not a lot of them that just boom, they just hit me like that.
Yeah. All right. Next gen.
Next generation. Well, I have to lop two of them together, and that's Q Who and Best of Both Worlds.
I'm torn between Best of Both Worlds and is it Yesterday's Enterprise?
That was a very good one.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
So
well, they had a lot of good ones.
They did have a lot of good ones. DS9.
Go back to Enterprise first of all.
Oh, Enterprise. Yeah.
Another great one is the first time you see the Klingon. What was her name?
The Klingon.
Klingon first officer.
You mean Vulcan?
Yeah, yeah. Vulcan. Yeah. Well, I was so mesmerized by her.
Her putting her lotion on. It rubs the lotion over its body.
Jesus.
In the decontamination chamber.
Oh, lordy. Blaylock. Wasn't that her name?
Yeah.
But I would love to have seen her in 7 and 9 together.
I'm sure if you Google it, you can probably find it somewhere.
I'm sure there's a Star Trek. There's a Star Trek fan base out there that has to agree with me on that one. Anyway,
DS9,
the one with the Bond.
That was one of my good. I liked that one. I also liked again Trial and Tribulations, where they went back to
that was kind of cool.
The Enterprise,
yeah,
because that was the first time we'd actually seen anything like that in a long time. The only other time we ever saw the Enterprise was back in Next Gen when Scotty came on board with the Dyson Sphere and he recreated the Enterprise.
And he's sitting there, they're drinking
whiskey,
Romulan ale aboard.
So that was anytime you looked back at the original Star Trek, it was kind of cool. So that was my favorite DS9 episode.
Yeah.
All right, so the original Star Trek. Do you have a favorite episode?
The one with the planet killer, Doomsday Machine.
You like that one?
That one and when they go back to OK Corral.
I have two, and they're really opposite. One is, of course, a time travel episode when they go back to 1960s Earth, and they capture the pilot who's spotted them, and they beam him aboard, and then they have to send him back because it turns out that his son does something.
Yeah, that was all right.
Yeah, you didn't like that one?
It was all right.
I like that one. And then one of them, because it reminded me of a 50s war movie. Like a submarine drama, was when they're
Balance
hunting.
of Terror.
Yes, that was good. Hunting the Romulan. That was a very good episode.
Well, Trouble with Tribbles was good too because
episode.
Nothing was funnier than when Scotty gets suckered into the fight, the big brawl room fight. And then Kirk's interrogating him, and he says, "You didn't defend your captain, but you defended the ship."
Then you hit him? No, Captain, I did not. When he called it a garbage scour.
That was the best.
Yeah. So
that just reminded me of typical Navy behavior.
All right, let's talk movies.
Can we talk? Can we talk here?
Can we?
Can we talk here? Favorite movie?
Yeah, let's talk movies. Favorite movies.
Out of all of them, we're going to break them apart here. That's pretty tough.
All right, let's do. See, can you pick a favorite out of all of them, and then a favorite of each of the subgenres? I'm going to go with, and this might sound weird, but actually, Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country. I like that a lot.
Voyage Home,
but Voyage Home.
Okay.
And if I had to pick a second, it would probably be. What was the one with the Borg?
That's First Contact.
Oh, it would be First Contact. Yeah, First Contact. That would be my second.
But break them apart.
But, all right.
Again.
So original cast.
Yeah, original cast. The first 6 movies. What you would say, Undiscovered Country?
Yeah, probably Undiscovered Country is my favorite.
I'd go with the Voyage Home.
I'd go with
Voyage Home. Then I'd go with Wrath of Khan, and then I'd go with Insurrection.
Yeah, we have the same 3, just in a little different order.
The last one would obviously be that first snooze fest.
You mean
the original?
Oh, the original motion picture?
Oh, God.
You know what, though? If that was edited, that would not be a bad show. Well, now, that was supposed to be a TV series.
I know all that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I'm telling the audience.
The way they did that, Alan Dean Foster wrote that, and the way they just wanted to overshow special effects.
Yeah.
Look what we can do compared to what we did.
Yeah.
And they didn't edit it down. And
no, and if it was edited, I thought it would have been a halfway decent movie. It needed some editing. Star Trek Phase 2 was going to be the next TV series, and that never got off the ground. So
that's what I think about the first movie.
Yeah, that was clearly my worst. The second worst would have been a 5.
Search
for God. No, the Search for God.
No, that was but at least that was a different.
It had a couple of moments. I love the marshmallows. Roasting marshmallows.
Yeah, it had its moments,
moments.
But at least it had a different storyline. The Search for Spock was it just didn't have Spock during the whole thing, so you were missing out.
Kirstie Alley never came back for Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock.
Yeah, she blew that.
Well, in an interview that she did, she said that she was, quote, playing the game, where apparently they made an offer. She said it wasn't high enough, and she was expecting them to come back with a counteroffer, which she says they do all the time, except they never came back with a counteroffer. They said, never mind.
Well, I didn't like What's-Her-Face.
So I didn't like her either. But all right, so Next Generation movies, favorite?
Next Generation movie, definitely First Contact with the Borg.
First Contact is my favorite as well.
Yeah. And then after that...
That's tough because they really weren't that good.
No, I really didn't like any of them.
They really weren't that good. Again, there were bits and pieces out of all of them that were funny or good parts.
Yeah, but they had their moments, but
and I think what would have been really good would have been Star Trek Nemesis, the last one they made. But there's a lot of backstory behind that. Apparently, it was rushed through for number 1. It was edited number 2. They edited the time when in the movie theater. If you have a movie that is a certain amount of time, like 90 minutes, 95 minutes, it gets more plays a day than a movie that's longer, of course. And that came out with the same time that Lord of the Rings came out. And what they were hoping on was that because people were in line waiting to see Lord of the Rings, they would go see Star Trek and then go see Lord of the Rings, because you could get 2 of those into one of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And it was done purposely. It was edited down purposely.
Bureaucracy bullshit.
Yeah, money. Yeah.
Corporate crap. I'm so sick of it. Just go out and make a good motion picture.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll bet you $10 to the donut that Tom Hardy would love to forget that role, because he was so skinny and he was dressed like such a dork.
Yeah.
And that was just... I mean, you look at pictures of him today and roles he's doing today in comparison to that. It's like,
well, I think that movie had a lot of potential, and it was done all wrong. It really was. And they talk about Rick Berman and everyone talk about what they did to it and how they changed it, and they edited it and produced it differently, and it was going to be a completely different movie, and it was going to be a cliffhanger leading up to another movie, but it just never happened.
Out.
No, because that was the worst box office movie out of all of them. That was the worst. It did really bad. All right, the new timeline.
New timeline. Well, my favorite is the first one.
The first one?
Yeah.
I think I got to pick that one as well. I think I agree with that one. It was really good. Star Trek Beyond, it was really good as well. But
That'd be my second.
Yeah.
My last is
Into Darkness.
Only because I'm tired of revisiting. You know,
but you had to tell the story though.
Again? I mean, come on.
You had to tell that story because one of the things that, unlike Discovery,
but what I liked already is that Pike was alive, and
he was,
and then they had to hurry up and kill him off in the second film. Was that necessary? No, it wasn't. It would have had no impact on that movie whatsoever, losing Pike, because Pike's not dead in the other alternate universe.
But it did have an impact. It had an impact on Kirk and Spock. Well, emotionally, it had an impact on them.
Yeah, but they could have done what they
might have been able to do it differently.
Yeah, they could have put him in that chair.
Yeah, they could have.
You know, where he was completely incapacitated, and that would have made more sense than just killing him.
Well, I think he was just
a good character, and
I do like him,
and I like the actor that played him.
Actor, yeah.
And I didn't like it. I think Cumberpatch did a good job. Whatever his name is, he was.
Yeah, he was really good.
You know, he was very good because that was a a better take on
the storytelling of Khan.
Of Khan, yes.
I agree.
Because Khan, they were going with the old American Indian type tribe kind of thing, and that was in this time and that time and age they wouldn't have fit. So.
I liked it. By the way, I did rewatch, as you know, when I was telling everyone, the Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan director's cut on Blu-ray that you let me borrow.
Yeah.
And I watched the commentaries and everything. And once again, Ricardo Montalban's chest was real. That was not fake.
How many times are you going to shove this in my face that I was wrong?
I'm telling everyone that, because everyone still insists that it wasn't, that it was fake. It was real. That was his real chest. And speaking of chest, which I also thought was funny, in the original Star Trek, they shaved William Shatner's chest because they didn't want him to have hair.
But he never took his shirt off.
William Shatner never took his shirt off in Star Trek.
Oh, in Star Trek?
Yes.
I thought you were talking about the motion picture.
No. In the original, in the series.
Did they make a mistake and shave his head too? That's why he had to wear a toupee?
Well, I still cannot find a definitive answer for that one. I still have people that swear up and down, directors and everything, that know it's real. And then I have people that swear up and down, know it's fake. And one of the stories that I cling to over and over again is I remember that somebody went to visit Shatner at his house, and a little kid, to get his autograph. This was back in the 70s. And the story goes that he walked up, and this bald guy met him at the door, and he says, "You're not Captain Kirk. You can't be. You don't have hair." And that story went around and around and around and around. So I don't know if he had hair or didn't have hair. He clearly had a receding hairline, but I don't know whether he was...
it's like Scotty. It was missing fingers.
Yeah, and you never noticed that either.
You know when I found out?
Yeah, when you went to see him.
When I actually got to his autograph table and I saw his hand on the table, I was shocked.
Lost it in the war.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, see, the secrets of Star Trek.
All right, so we've got plenty of more Star Trek stuff coming up.
Okay, it's time for North Korean radio.
In this segment of the show, we want to give some call-ins, and we got a call-in right now from Jean-Luc Picard of the Enterprise.
Oh, Jean-Luc.
There's nothing about you I find tantalizing. On the contrary, I find you obvious and vulgar.
And Dr. McCoy from the Enterprise.
You really piss me off.
And Scotty from the Enterprise.
Up your shaft.
You've heard it first here on North Korean radio.
We will be right back after I compute pi to its last integer.
Log of the Starship Enterprise, stardate 5943.7.
Captain Kirk, this is Lieutenant Uhura. Mr. Spock is ready to patch in. Go ahead, Mr. Spock.
I'm on the surface of the destroyed barbarian planet now, Captain.
Destroyed? What do you see, Mr. Spock?
The surviving inhabitants are in a dreadful condition. It seems they can't control their limbs, and their minds are dull and useless. Fascinating. They seem to be in a state identical to that curious 20th century Earth disease called hard drug abuse. I suspect it has destroyed all meaningful life on this wretched planet.
A tragic find, Mr. Spock.
As a Vulcan, I find the need for hard drugs to be totally illogical.
But as a half-human Spock, surely you can appreciate the suffering that hard drug abuse causes. We can only hope that other civilizations will not make the same mistake.
I am the captain of the Starship Enterprise.
Captain Kirk, this is Spock. Please step on the transporter.
Dilithium crystals hit by Klingon missiles. No!
I'm a doctor.
Not an actor.
Not a milkman.
What does that mean?
And I'm sorry, he's dead, Jim.
Photon torpedo! Lieutenant Uhura, open hailing frequencies.
Yes, Captain Kirk, opening hailing frequencies, sir.
Let's boldly go where no one's gone before. Beam me up, Mr. Scott. Sulu, go to warp.
Warp 3, sir.
No, that will be way too slow.
Warp 4, sir.
That still is way too slow.
Warp 5, sir.
It still is too damn slow.
Warp 6.
It's too damn slow.
Warp 7.
It's still damn slow.
It's too damn slow!
No, 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 no. Mr. Chekhov. I am firing torpedo.
That will not work and would be illogical to me. To me.
Please tell me that whole thing about the pie did not involve you dropping your pants and sticking something into it, like in that 90s teen movie.
No, it was all about lemon meringue.
It's like what?
All about lemon meringue. Welcome back. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor or advertising on our show, drop us an email at talkfot@gmail.com.
The moment you've been waiting for is finally here. Yes, true or false headlines.
All right, folks. True or false headlines, the Star Trek edition, is being sponsored by the Ludlow Lions Club. Do you want to help those in need in your neighborhood? Volunteer today by visiting ludlowlions.org or by calling 754-900-ROAR. This is supposed to be a Star Trek show, not a Star Wars show. You keep your Wookiee in your pants. All right, Sonny, a little different this week. Basically just some Star Trek headlines that I'll ask you, and you tell me whether you think it's true or false. Shatner, Nimoy, and Kelly to get Star Trek residuals.
That's false.
That is false. No one from the original series
Nobody
got
did.
a penny. They didn't get a penny. They got nothing from the series. They got nothing from marketing, from them all those lunch boxes and anything that was made cereal. They got nothing.
They
Not a
stood in the
dime.
same unemployment line as Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, they got nothing. LAPD speechwriter to produce Star Trek.
False. T.J. Hooker.
No, that is true. Gene Roddenberry was an LAPD speechwriter.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, he was, yeah. Lucille Ball calls Star Trek that South Seas show.
True.
That is true. Desilu Productions that produced Star Trek, Lucy was behind this, and she thought that Star Trek meant that it was stars trekking across the world like USO, going to visiting the soldiers. That's what she really thought it was. And then when they finally told her what it was, she actually pushed for the show to continue.
Oh, that's good.
Because she thought it was a moneymaker. So, yeah. Majel Barrett to work on every TV series, every Star Trek TV series. I see the wheels turning.
That was true.
That is true, with
Except
the
I don't-
exception of Discovery, which
Well,
I
that,
don't know.
but I just don't remember on Enterprise.
Yep, she was the computer.
On Enterprise
Yep,
as well.
mhm. Yep, she was everything, yep. All right, here's the last one. Vulcan salute is actual Hebrew blessing.
That is false.
That is true.
Really?
That's how Leonard Nimoy came up with that little Vulcan salute. Was as a kid, he said he was 7 or 8 years old. They were doing some Hebrew. Sorry if I'm not picking on you, but you know, however they chant.
He doesn't.
Whatever.
He doesn't speak Hebrew.
Yeah, I don't. So whatever chant that they were chanting, and apparently you're not supposed to look at them, and you cover your eyes, or I guess the women have a veil of some type of thing, and it's like taboo to look at them while they're saying this blessing. And he peeked. And one of the rabbis was making the hand gesture. So that's where he got it from.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Fountain of Thought segment, where your all-omnipotent host, Dennis Fountain, ponders life events.
Well, I got a few Star Trek questions of my own for you this week.
Okay.
Of course, you blew one of them for me already. Talking about
I didn't blow you.
Talking about the Klingons, we already answered that one. This one was a stumper. Who was the first choice to be captain on your favorite Voyager?
Who was my first choice to be captain?
No, who was the first choice to be captain of the...
That's easy. Genevieve Bujold or whatever. She was like there for like 2 days of filming, day and a half or something of filming, 2 days, whatever. She was... Yeah. In fact, I just recently saw the outtakes of her, and she was horrible.
Yeah, I did
she
too.
was horrible. Yeah.
No feeling to it whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like she didn't want to be there. She really didn't want to be there.
Okay, well, as William Shatner donned the uniform of Captain Kirk for his final scene, what was his final line?
Oh, my.
That's because I gave that to you last week.
I liked it because he died with his eyes open, but I don't know. That just didn't seem like a very good death.
Whole death for Captain.
Yeah, I know.
No,
It didn't.
Who wrote that? Berman?
Yeah, Berman. That was.
I knew I hated him for
Yeah.
a reason. Yeah. Okay. Third and final question. Voyager.
Yes.
Okay. Or Voyager.
Yeah.
From Star Trek The Motion Picture.
Yeah.
Do you think that could have been the origins of the Borg?
no. I mean, if it was written differently, it could have been, because that would have been a nice tie-in, but no, because if you watch especially Voyager, the Borg predate that incident. They go back thousands of years, so no.
But my topic on that was, don't you think that would have been a good tie-in?
Oh, yeah, it would have been.
When they decided to make the character the Borg.
Yeah.
To just,
that would have been huge. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you find out later, going through episode after episode, instead of making it wimpy with Iborg and
well, some of those were a little,
stupid. But
giving them names.
If they had left it with the best of both worlds, and then when they got to First Contact,
and
then all of a sudden you go back in time to find out it's V'ger.
It's V'ger. Yeah, that would have been a good tie-in. It would have worked well. The V'ger, he was the catalyst that caused the Borg to form. But yeah, do I get an A+?
It's not a question of passing.
Oh, it's not a question of passing.
No, we're testing your
testing my all-omnipotence.
Your all-impotence.
My all-impotence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's play Hollywood Soundbite Theater.
Your hosts will volley movie sound clips at each other. Whomever has the most correct after 3 volley wins. A host may ask for 1 clue per game and is allowed 1 pass. Winner picks the following week's topic, and the loser, they post an embarrassing selfie at fountainofthought.com.
What's the matter? You was sick of my incompetent way of...
The rules changed every damn week. All right, is your pool looking like your future? A little murky? Then let No Worries for You professional pool service handle all your pool needs. Serving Orange, Osceola, and Polk counties. Clear your mind by clearing your pool. Give them a call today at 407-953-7926. So you've noticed that we're only doing 3 now, and we get 1 pass. So it's the best of 3. All right, I'll let you go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, you meant... Oh, okay. All right.
Have you got them? Just putting them together now, sir. I think we know that man.
It appears to be. I don't want to think about it.
Cyrano Jones. And he's got tribbles with him. Tribbles!
You think you're such a smart ass.
I gave it away. I mean,
you don't think I thought of this too?
You'd be dumb if you couldn't figure this one out. But
yeah, it's Star Trek, the animated series.
Correct.
Yeah.
I could have found one where you wouldn't have done it, but I was being nice.
Okay, your first one.
Klingon vessel decloaking directly ahead, sir. Klingon vessel decloaking directly ahead, sir.
I'm going to go with Star Trek First Contact.
Generations.
Here is your next one.
At least your beloved Jean-Luc knew how to turn a phrase.
Take a hint, Q. No one wants you around.
Really, Vash, this playing hard to get is growing tedious. Let's not forget that I'm the Q and you the lowly human. I'll decide when this partnership is over. Understand?
Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Very good, sir. You know that Q only made 1 appearance in DS9.
I know that.
Yeah.
You had to pick a very easy one.
I did. I was very generous.
Mm-hmm. Not me.
I know. You're a prick.
Yep.
That would be illogical.
I'm going to take a hint, please.
It's Mr. Spock.
Really?
Yeah.
Played by Leonard Nimoy?
The second series.
Huh? It's the second series.
Yeah.
That's my hint?
Yeah.
Star Trek the Motion Picture.
How does Star Trek the Motion Picture have anything to do with being the second series?
Because it can't be Star Trek The Next Generation.
No, but it can be Star Trek the Animated Series. You stupid
chronologically.
dumbass.
Ah, gotcha.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
You win. For funs and giggles, see if you can get this one.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its continuing mission.
to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations,
to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Star Trek: The Undiscovered Country.
No.
That was my second choice. My first was going to be Generations.
No. It's Enterprise. That's the very last scene of the series in Star Trek Enterprise, and then it fades to black.
I was still busy crying over Riker walking away.
I got one more for you.
NCC 1701. No bloody A, B, C, or D.
That's Scotty. Play that one more time.
NCC 1701. No bloody A, B, C, or D.
Was that the Next Generation with the Dyson field?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
because that's the only way he would know about Enterprise D. So yeah.
I got one for you.
All right.
If she were not dead, I would kill her.
Star Trek Next Generation.
Very good.
It's time to dig deep. That only means one thing. It's time for questions from my side.
All right, this is being sponsored by Mr. Bill's Boot and Shoe Repair in Pantego, Texas. Tell Mr. Bill you heard this ad and receive a 20% discount on any repair. Find them online at mrbills.net, where they'll save your soul and gladly die for you. This is where you, the listener, come into play. We take your questions and answer them randomly, and I have gone through them, and I've put all the Star Trek questions into my sack. And the first question is, which Star Trek character would you most like to have a drink with?
In the olden days, Captain James T. Kirk.
I think I'd want to have it with Data. I mean, unless I'm getting somebody drunk, then it's 7 of 9, but...
I concur, Captain. If we're talking just an intellectual conversation, I think it would be fun to, definitely talk to Captain Kirk.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to Data. I think that would be cool. Ask him all kinds of questions about it, being an android.
Yeah.
That would be cool. All right, what Star Trek technology would you want to have today? I think this is an easy one.
It is.
Transporters.
Of course.
Yeah, okay, we both agree. All right, I didn't know what you would say. Phasers.
If I get up this morning and say, hey, I want to go to the Caribbean.
Yeah, just zzz, and you're done. Yeah, all right. And the last one is, do you think Earth will ever unite peacefully as depicted in Star Trek?
Yes. And I explained this in many, many shows. Prejudice is never going to go away. It's always going to evolve. And the only way it's going to evolve, and the best show that ever showed that was Alien Nation. Everybody was against one another until another form of a human being or
another race came along.
That all of a sudden, now we put our petty differences together and we call them slags. It's always going to be that way. So if all of a sudden other planets start to become present, then we will move on from being individuals to humans.
Right.
And then we'll pick on everybody else.
Yeah, we'll pick on some other species.
Yeah, because that's in our nature. That's the way we are.
Yeah.
Looking for a little-known but great movie to watch this weekend? Then you're listening to the right podcast. Here's an awesome movie recommendation.
Movie Recommendations is being sponsored by the Young Men's Library Association and the Ware Public Library. Find books, magazines, newspapers, music, and yes, even movies available to borrow. Free or discounted museum passes, genealogy collections, as well as downloadable ebooks and audio via their website at warelibrary.org. All right, so keeping the Star Trek theme, I have a very good movie for you to watch. If you haven't seen it, it's called Chaos on the Bridge. And it's a documentary. It came out in 2014. It is available on DVD, Netflix, or if you want, I believe it's on YouTube in some poor quality, but it is on there. It's a documentary written, directed, and presented by William Shatner. It discusses the chaos and controversy behind the scenes as producers tried to make Star Trek the next generation. So it goes into interviews with all of these people and discusses the problems they had in making that series work. It's a pretty good show. So check that out. Chaos on the Bridge, 2014. You can find it on DVD, Netflix, or YouTube.
My movie recommendation is, it's not earth-shattering, but it was entertaining, and I enjoyed it. And you probably, I don't know if you saw it, you'll probably disagree with me because you had the whole show. But is called The Colony, and it stars Kevin Zegers, Bill Paxton, and Lawrence Fishburne. It was released in 2013. It's post-apocalyptic, and people are living in bunkers because it's complete ice over on the planet, and the flu is a killer.
I did see it. I did like it,
and it was very good. I liked it, but it didn't get any attention. Didn't go to the movie theater. And it just kind of faded to video and just faded kind of out of existence, basically. But look it up. I'm sure you'll find it on Netflix, DVD. Again, it's called The Colony. It has a picture of Lawrence Fishburne on the front cover. And check it out. It is worth watching.
Sonny's Pet Peeve
of the Week.
My pet peeve of this particular week, because it's Star Trek episode, is I would like to say to the lame-ass people who decided, I think it was in the 80s, that it was time to call us Trekkers.
Trekkers, yes.
Instead of Trekkies. And what I would like to tell you is take your Trekkers and stick it up the hole with a lightsaber.
Highly illogical.
But did you like that?
No, I don't know why that ever came up. Trekkers. What's the difference between Trekkers and a Trekkie? I don't get it. We're Trekkies. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts?
I want all you people out there who are Star Trek fans to remember, Klingons arrive through a black hole and some end up orbiting Uranus.
Humor! I love it!
All right, everyone, leave your opinion or thoughts on the listener line at 413-612-8037. Don't forget about Dissecting Discovery. That's an all-new podcast by the Fountain of Thought coming to your computer near you. And reminding everyone to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Fountain of Thought. Follow us on Twitter at TalkFOT. And don't forget to visit our website at fountainofthought.com for past and future episodes. And remember,
live long and prosper.
If I were human, I believe my response would be, go to hell.
Scotty, beat me up.
I'm a doctor, not an engineer. I'm a doctor, not a mechanic.
I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer. I'm a doctor, not an escalator.
I'm a doctor, not a coal miner.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
Sir, I protest. I am not a married man.
I'm a doctor, not a database.
Up your shaft. Are you afraid of me or just disgusted by my presence?
Humor! I love it!
You should know I'm a hologram and can't be bent, spindled, or mutilated, so don't bother trying.
Oh, mind if I play through?
I'm sorry. Too zesty for you?
Live long and prosper.